Welcome to Jazz Time. JazzTime.com is an online store that buys, sells, trades authentic luxury watches. We make these videos so our customers can easily choose the best watch for themselves in the comfort of their own home. If you like this watch and would like to purchase it at the lowest price anywhere online, click on the link in the description below to buy it at JazzTime.com. Today, I'm going to be reviewing the Rolex Daytona Yellow Gold with a black diamond dial, reference 116518LN. I'm going to talk to you about the bezel, the dial, the case, the strap, try it on, and give you my thoughts. So let's start. This is the Rolex Daytona. As I said, the reference 116518 has actually been replaced as of 2023 by reference 126518. Now it's still every bit a Daytona and it is an iconic watch still, but there's been some minor changes to it, which I'll tell you about as we go through this video, that you may or may not want to change to the newer version of it. Now this watch currently retails around low 30,000s. I don't know the exact number because they've changed it, but it's still moving on the gray market for close to 40,000 or somewhere around that range, right? So the Daytona has held its value quite well. So let's start with the case. The case is yellow gold, and Rolex has its own gold foundries that they mix the gold in to have the precise percentages of each material, and so that they can ensure that their quality of gold when it comes out is perfect. They don't want to leave it up to a third party, so they mix it all themselves, and you end up with this beautiful yellow gold casing that you see here. Now the case is 40 millimeters. That has not changed on the new Daytona. It's still 40 millimeters. It still uses the same Oyster case, and it's a monoblock middle case, which just means it's made out of a singular piece of yellow gold. And of course it has these pushers. Now it's 40 millimeters from the 8 o'clock to the 2 o'clock position, longest distance across the bezel, but that does not include the pushers. If you actually include the pushers, it would be larger. So it makes this watch actually look larger than 40 millimeters. Some people have said they wish that the Daytona is larger. I don't agree. I think the 40 millimeters is exactly perfect. That way it fits many wrist sizes, and 40 millimeters is not small. It's actually a normal sports watch. And this is kind of a racing watch. So you can't have a super streamlined, thin, sleek watch that is inspired by racing if it's too big. That's why 40 millimeters Rolex has stuck with this, and I think it's the right decision. Okay, so now let's talk a bit about the dial. The dial is a black dial, and it has these gold subdials. These subdials are the three little dials underneath. Now, Rolex made a minor change in the dials a few years back. They didn't change the model number, and they quietly just changed it. The old subdials were just a hollow black. They didn't have this gold subdial black, which you might not even notice it at first, but once I point it out to you, it just seems so obvious. You'd be like, oh yeah, of course you should have the gold subdials. And I actually have another version of this for you to look at, so you can look at them side by side, and you can actually see right now which one do you prefer. I would probably have to say the newer one with the new subdials, the one that you see here. So okay, now that actually, now that I have them side by side, you can see that there really is only one difference in these watches, in that the subdials are gold, but it makes all the difference. It's not immediately obvious when you look at it, but when you kind of look at it for a few moments, you're like, oh yeah, okay, it just looks like the final evolution of this watch. I think it looks quite nice too. Okay, now the diamonds are the same, and the black is the same. The diamonds are internally flawless, decolored natural stones. Rolex only chooses the highest quality. They actually have a gemologist choose the best stones, and then have a gem setter to place them, all done in-house. So it's not the watchmaker who's not specialized in gem setting, because they want to make sure that they position each diamond to its right orientation, depth, and so forth, and then place it into the gold correctly with the right, as I said, orientation, etc., so that it sparkles and shines exactly as Rolex intended it to be, which is why a factory diamond dial set by Rolex is worth much more than an aftermarket, even though both are diamonds. So it's not just the diamond itself, it's also how it's set and placed in there, it's cut, and so on. And Rolex does that to absolute perfection. They do it to the tenth or even hundredth of a millimeter. They guarantee that, and it's even written on their website. So that's the dial. I spent a few minutes telling you about it, and I think let's move on to the bezel. Oh yeah, by the way, since we're talking about the dial, let me finish and just say that the newer version, it has the same thing. It's black dial, but the subdials, instead of being just a circular gold, the subdials having the circular gold part, the whole subdial is gold. So they went from being black, hollowed, to the subdial, the surround being gold, until now, which the entire subdial is gold. So I wonder what they'll do next. Maybe flip it around, make the outside, maybe the subdial's black. I don't know. Who knows what they'll do? Okay, but that's the only difference. Now let's talk about the bezel. The bezel is a Cerachrome bezel, aka ceramic, and it doesn't scratch, and it will maintain its color for pretty much the entirety of your life and the life of this watch. The one difference in the bezel in this version versus the new version that is coming out in 23, they're not actually out yet, they'll be coming probably toward the end of the 23, is that on the newer version, they have gold around the edge of the bezel. Now that makes the bezel actually look smaller or thinner, not so fat, and that's good and bad. Is good in that I guess it makes it look nicer, maybe in terms of proportion, but in the negative side, the gold that goes around the bezel, it scratches, and that's kind of the whole purpose of having a ceramic bezel, in that it protects the bezel from scratching, looks sporty, and it does not, it doesn't scratch, because the bezel before they did the ceramic was all made of metal, and it scratched very easily and it looked quite unsightly. But at any rate, this is the ceramic bezel. It doesn't scratch and it looks beautiful. Okay, you can only get it on Oysterflex, by the way. You can't do a combination of the metal bracelet with a bezel like this. Okay. All right, that's the bezel. So now let's talk about the strap. The strap is a Oysterflex strap, and I have to say that Rolex makes the best rubber strap of any on the market. That includes Patek Philippe, Audemars Piguet, and Richard Mille. Why? Because they actually have two flexible curved metal blades, one in each bracelet section, which is over molded with high performance black elastomer. Basically, there's this little steel going inside this rubber here that keeps its shape, and it also has these air gills or air vents that allow the rubber strap to sit above your wrist, not so that the rubber isn't completely touching your wrist. What that allows for is for you to sweat and let the air evaporate and not have it. Reduces the amount of contact that the rubber has with your skin, so therefore it doesn't get as hot and sweaty. It's an ingenious system, and it allows this rubber strap, which would otherwise deform and have a very funny shape to it, maintain its shape. And on top of that, they even use an ingenious Rolex glide lock extension system, which you see here. When I open the clasp, you can adjust the strap to different sizes without, by the way, using any tools. So I would have to say this is the best rubber bracelet on the market. Okay. All right, so that is the strap. Now let's talk about the movement. The movement is using the older movement. As of 23, it's using the 4130 movement. The newer movement is a 4131. To be honest, I don't really know what the difference is, because it's some minor stuff. And the 4130 movement is good. I bet the 4131 movement is also good. You cannot see it anyways, so I'm not sure what that matters. Okay, so let's try this watch on. I am 6 foot tall, 200 pounds, and let's try this on. I think it's a fantastic watch. I really am a huge fan of the Daytona. It's their premier sports watch line, and you really cannot go wrong with it. Almost every Daytona is selling, not almost every Daytona is selling at a premium, and that is, a premium means a premium above retail, and rightfully so. It's one of their most complicated watches, and it's beautiful, it's iconic, it's very desirable, and it maintains its value super well. So what is there to say about it? I mean, not much else than what I have said, which is it's just a fantastic watch. And they don't make this configuration anymore. As I said, they make the same black diamond, but it's slightly different. So if you like this with the gold sub dials like this, then you have to buy this one. And if you want to buy it, you must go to jazztime.com or click on the link in the description below, because we sell it at the lowest price anywhere online, which is why we make these videos, to let you guys know that. So please, if you like to buy this watch, go to jazztime.com.
If you want to find out more about the watch you just saw in the video, you can just click below on Show More to see the full description. Then you can check the link next to Model as seen in video, click on it, and you will get to the proper page where you can see all the details. If you're watching on a mobile phone, you have to click on the arrow down on the right hand side below the video to see the full description. If you like this video, please give us a thumbs up. If you would like to share this video with your friends, you can use the share button below and share it on any platform you like. If you have questions, constructive feedback, want to tell us about some mistakes or misspeaks, just write a comment below. If you want to see more videos like this, you should subscribe to our channel and visit our channel page where you can find all the videos. And if you're interested in a specific watch brand, you can check out our playlists. If you want to check the price for a watch or want to buy one, remember at jazztime.com you always get a steep discount, so you should check the prices with us. If you want to know the price for a specific watch, just go to Google, type in JazzTime plus the brand, model and the details you're interested in, and Google will find the right page for you. Thank you for watching.